Do you remember when STAYC came out with ASAP?
Yep.
Yeah, so STAYC's ASAP came out 4 years ago on April 8th, 2021. And I remember either you or I shared the music video, and immediately I was like, wow, this is it. This song is gonna hit the big time. I just felt like the song was gonna go viral with the dance and how catchy it was. ASAP didn't really catch on until like 3 or 4 months later, actually. But when it did, it really blew up.
Oh yeah, it's a catchy as hell song, man, and choreography's great, video's great, everything's great.
Have you had a chance to see STAYC live yet?
Well, I did go to KCON, so I saw them right there for their 2 songs.
Oh, that's right. The Prestige year.
Yes,
The 2022.
that's right.
That's right. That's right. We were both there for that. All right.
I saw STAYC like do their 2 songs, and then whatever special stages they did with other artists. I can't remember what they did. I can't even remember if they were part of other special stages at KCON anymore.
So they did Beautiful Monster and Run to You. Well, I remember Beautiful Monster because when they did the selfie MV at KCON, it was Beautiful Monster.
Yeah.
Remember the selfie music video?
Oh, we were all up in that, man.
Yeah. And then I remember Run to You because the way Soo-hyun said Run to You kind of went viral a little bit. Like it caught on just a tiny bit. Like, run to you. In kind of like a British type of accent. Man, that was the start pretty much of everything for me with STAYC. ASAP, then KCON Chicago, then KCON LA, and then the KCON tour right after. Would you say that you've listened to a lot of STAYC songs?
I've listened to their entire discography, so I am quite familiar with it.
Okay, great, great. Perfectly leads into my next question then, which is if you had to pick one B-side from STAYC,
Oh, goddamn.
what is the one B-side that you would tell people, like, you have to listen to this?
Oh, there's so many.
There is.
So many. So I'm gonna pull a Justin here. So I'm gonna pick more than one, just because it's a hard question to answer, man. Let's see here. So my first pick is from the YoungLove.com album, 24/7. So that's number one. Not number one as in ranked number one, but just number one because it's the first thing that showed up on my list. It's gonna make my head hurt.
It's pretty tough, isn't it? They have a lot of great songs.
Yeah, I think for you, since you've actually probably heard all of their songs repeatedly over the past few years, you probably have them all memorized.
Yeah, I definitely know the songs. As far as choosing one, I know I gave you a difficult task.
Yes. From Metamorphic. It's an album I didn't really like that much. I'm kind of like in the camp of people who didn't like mature STAYC. But Gummy Bear, I like that one.
Oh, yeah. Gummy Bear.
Would one thing count as a B-side, or was that not a B-side? Was that promoted? Do you recall?
I think technically it's a B-side, even though they promoted it.
I like that one too. I'll go with those ones, because otherwise my brain's going to hurt trying to figure out the rest. 24/7, Gummy Bear, and One Thing.
Wow. So even though you said you weren't as big of a fan of the Metamorphic album, you still chose 2 B-sides from the Metamorphic album.
Yes.
Impressive. That just shows the quality of STAYC's music, I think.
Yeah. I mean, it's at least they're trying new stuff. I mean, they could have just stuck with like cheesy teen pop all the time, but at least, you know they're capable of doing something else.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? It's deciding, do we try to build off of the success of Teddy Bear and Bubble, or do we want to evolve our sound ourselves as artists? It's are you making things for the masses, or are you making things for yourself? How do you view art, right?
Yeah.
Well, with the release of their most recent single album, S, a few weeks ago on March 18th, today we'll be reviewing the most recent comeback of the girl group STAYC and decide which of their B-sides are the best. Welcome to Diaries of an MZ Generation, where we discuss Korean culture, music, and entertainment. This is episode 14. I'm Ellis Tan, and today is Friday, April 11th, 2025. If you haven't realized already, STAYC is my current favorite K-pop group, or what many in the K-pop fandom refer to as ULT, meaning ultimate. I love STAYC a lot, so much so that I've traveled all over the country and across the world to see them perform. It was an inevitable reality that this podcast would have multiple episodes dedicated to STAYC, and I'm proud to say that today's episode will be the first of many. With the passing of the 4-year anniversary of their mega hit ASAP a few days ago, along with the start of their new world tour, Stay Tuned, this weekend, I felt it was the perfect time to talk about STAYC. One of the ideas I had when we first started this podcast was to create a series where we pit an artist's entire discography of B-sides into a tournament-style bracket. Each song is randomly seeded, and they will have to face head-to-head until only one B-side remains. What better first edition of this series than to start with my ultimate bias, one of my personal no-skip artists, and put their songs into a grueling World Cup of choices. But before we begin, let me first introduce the group STAYC. The K-pop girl group STAYC debuted on November 12th of 2020 with the single album Star to a Young Culture and their first title track, So Bad. Technically, the name STAYC, spelled STAYC, is an acronym that means Star to a Young Culture. They are managed by the agency High Up Entertainment, which is currently a label under their parent company, Kakao Entertainment. The group was created by agency founder Black Eyed Pilsung, a legendary hit-making duo consisting of Rado and Chae Gyu-sung. You may recognize some of their works, such as ITZY's Cake, Twice's Like Ooh-ah, Cheer Up, TT, Likey, and Fancy, Chungha's Roller Coaster and Gotta Go, Uju Sonyo, Cosmic Girls' Happy, Sistar's Touch My Body, I Like That, and Lonely, Miss A's Only You, A-Pink's My, Hush, Only One, I'm So Sick, and Dum Darum, 4 Minutes Volume Up, The Troublemaker Discography, Tiara's Roly Poly, Hyuna's Bubble Pop, Beast's Fiction, and many, many more. The fourth generation girl group consists of 6 members. The oldest, Bae Soo-min, Park Si-eun, who is currently one of the leaders and also the daughter of the legendary singer Park Nam-jung, Aisa, whose real name is Lee Chae-young, Yoon Se-eun, who is also a co-leader of the group, Shim Ja-yoon, whose stage name is simply Yoon, and the maknae, Jang Ye-eun, who goes by the stage name Jae. STAYC's claim to fame, and what they're most known for, is being one of the 4th generation leaders in live vocal performances. I've been a fan of STAYC since pre-debut, when they were still known as the High Up Girls. They would go on to become my ultimate bias group, and today, we'll be deciding which of their B-sides will take the crown of this podcast's first edition of Battle of the B-Sides World Cup. I've mentioned multiple times on this show, I believe STAYC is one of those artists that has no skips. Every single song that STAYC has come out with is a great listen, and I'd say that a majority of their B-sides are better than some of the title tracks that they've come out with in the last year. So what I've done is taken the entire list of their B-sides and put it into a tournament bracket with random seeding. I want to note, I did not include their title track remixes or instrumentals. And since this is a podcast focusing on Korean culture and entertainment, I also excluded the one Japanese B-side that they have called Tell Me Now, which I do think is a great song, by the way. After the exclusions, as well as the release of their new single album S, we coincidentally have exactly 32 B-sides. I put this list into a bracket generator and had the bracket created. I personally haven't even inspected the matchups myself, so I'll be going into this relatively blind. If you want to join along, or try the bracket for yourself after the show. I've included a link to the image in the show description as well as on the Selective Hearing website. Let's get started. So I have the bracket in front of me on my iPad, and the first matchup is between the songs Not Like You and 24/7. So Not Like You is a B-side off of the Teen Fresh EP, and the title track for that album was Bubble, one of their more recent singles. I actually personally liked Not Like You more than the title track Bubble. 24/7 was off of the YoungLove.com EP, and I have a lot of really great memories with this song because this was one of the songs where they created a little choreography for it during the first world tour. But personally for me, while I do really love 24/7, I think I'm going to have to choose Not Like You because there's a few reasons. First of all, 24/7 off of the YoungLove.com EP, that entire album was amazing, and I'm not even sure if 24/7 was the best B-side off of that album. Not Like You for sure was my favorite B-side off of the Teen Fresh album. So the winner of the first matchup here is going to be Not Like You. The next matchup is between the songs Be Mine and Gummy Bear. Be Mine is also off of the Teen Fresh EP, and Gummy Bear is off of their first studio album, Metamorphic. When Metamorphic first came out, Gummy Bear was one of my favorite songs off of the album. I definitely liked it more than the title track off of that album, which was Cheeky Icy Thing. So I think this is an easy win for Gummy Bear over Be Mine. The next matchup is between the songs Pipe Down and I Wanna Do. So Pipe Down is one of the B-sides off of the most recent single album, S, which came out a few weeks ago. And Pipe Down was one of the songs that they also promoted on the music shows. But while I did enjoy the single album S, I personally do not think that it's at the same level as a majority of their other songs. I would say outside of Cheeky Icy Thing, I would rate all the songs on the single album S below the rest of the STAYC discography. However, for I Wanna Do, which is also off of the Teen Fresh EP, I think that's just a really enjoyable ballad type of song to listen to. So for me, this one's easy. I'm going to pick I Wanna Do to move on over Pipe Down. The next matchup is between Diamond and the song called Find, which is actually a unit song consisting of the members Soo-hyun, Se-hyun, and Jae. Again, this is an easy one for me because Diamond is off of the recent single album S. Find is off of their first full album, their first studio album, Metamorphic. And I really loved the Metamorphic album, even though I didn't like the title track. So again, another easy choice for me, it's gonna have to be Find over the song Diamond. The next battle is between the songs Fakin' and Complex. So Fakin' is another unit song off of the first studio album Metamorphic that consists of the members Sumin and Yoon. The B-side Complex is off of one of their earlier EPs called Stereotype, which consisted of the title track of the same name, Stereotype, or Segankyong. While I do really love Sumin and Yoon's Fakin', Complex is actually one of my favorite B-sides in the entire STAYC discography. So another easy choice for me, it's gonna have to be Complex. The next battle is going to be between the songs So What and Same Same. Now here is a really tough first round matchup for me because I really love both of these songs. So What is off of the ASAP EP, which was titled Stadum, and Same Same is off of the YoungLove.com EP, which I'm not sure I mentioned it, but that's probably my favorite EP that STAYC has released. Now this one is really a difficult matchup because I really have a lot of great memories with both of these B-sides during the Teen Fresh World Tour. And I also think that both of these songs are just really great to listen to. So I would probably rate them evenly as far as how much I enjoy them. But if I'm going to have to put one over the other, it's going to be Same Same. Because one of my greatest memories from the Teen Fresh World Tour was in San Antonio during the encore. STAYC was performing Same Same, and a bunch of the members came over to our group and took our phones. So I'm gonna have to give Same Same the edge over So What, even though I would probably rate them pretty much the same level. The next matchup is between the songs Flexin' on My Ex and Young Love. I gotta say, this bracket generator really went hard because this is another matchup that's just incredibly difficult to choose between. Flexin' on My Ex came out on the first studio album, Metamorphic. However, the song was actually a part of the Teen Fresh World Tour setlist. So whoever saw the show on the tour was able to catch a sneak peek of this song before it was actually released. So there's a lot of great memories there, and I also really like that song. However, Young Love, which is the B-side off of the album YoungLove.com, while the album was called YoungLove.com, the title track off of that album was actually Run to You. But Young Love could possibly be one of my favorite STAYC B-sides. Young Love actually has a chance to be the winner of this tournament. So while this is a really difficult choice, because I love both of these songs, I think I'm going to have to give it to Young Love because, again, I think Young Love could be the winner of this tournament. Our next matchup is between Beauty Bomb and Slow Down. Beauty Bomb is another B-side off of the first studio album, Metamorphic, and Slow Down is a B-side off of the Stereotype EP. For me, Beauty Bomb was one of my favorite B-sides off of the album, but Slow Down is one of my favorite B-sides in STAYC's entire discography. So I'm going to easily give this to Slow Down to move on to the next round. The next matchup is between the songs One Thing and the song Let Me Know. Both of these songs are off of the first studio album Metamorphic, but I think this is an easy choice for me because I think One Thing should have been the title track of that album over Cheeky Icy Thing. If I remember correctly, on the music shows, both Cheeky Icy Thing and One Thing were the songs that they were promoting, but the title track was chosen to be Cheeky Icy Thing. As far as I know, One Thing and Cheeky Icy Thing were the two contenders for being the title track, and they had to choose between one or the other. Personally, I think One Thing should have been the title track of the album. But since it's a B-side, it's in this bracket, it's in this tournament, and I'm going to have to choose One Thing over Let Me Know because, again, I think One Thing might be the best song off of that album. Our next battle is between the songs Troublemaker and I Want You Baby. Troublemaker is another song off of the first studio album, Metamorphic. The song I Want You Baby is off of the YoungLove.com EP, and I really love both of these songs. If you're looking for something more down-tempo, I Want You Baby, definitely one of their better down-tempo tracks. But for me, personally, I just love the high energy of Troublemaker. I especially love Yoon's parts in that song. So I'm gonna pick Troublemaker over I Want You Baby. The next choice is going to be between the songs I'll Be There and Stay With Me. I'll Be There is off of the Stereotype EP, and Stay With Me is off of the first album, Metamorphic. This is a really difficult matchup for me because before the Metamorphic album came out, I'll Be There is probably one of my favorite STAYC B-sides. But I have a lot of emotional attachments to the song Stay With Me. First of all, the Stay With Me song is a fan song, which means that it was written to be dedicated towards the fans, or in this case, the STAYC fandom are called Swiths. But not only is it a fan song, I also had the incredible opportunity to join a dance workshop that was instructed by the STAYC members themselves. And one of the songs that they taught choreography for was Stay With Me. And you can probably find it still on their TikTok and their Instagram reels. But last year, around the same time as KCON LA 2024, I spent about an hour with the STAYC members learning choreography to their songs Cheeky Icy Thing and Stay With Me. So for me, although I do like I'll Be There a lot, I would probably put it at the same level as the song Stay With Me. So my emotional attachment with the song Stay With Me will probably be the edge that takes the victory over the song I'll Be There. Our next battle is between the B-side Meant to Be and the solo song Roses by Isa off of the Metamorphic album. Meant to Be is one of their more recent B-sides. It came out together with the title track GPT off of the I single album. And while I do really like that song Meant to Be, I think Isa killed it with the solo song Roses. And it was definitely my favorite of the 3 unit songs that they had come out with. So for this one, I'm going to have to choose Roses by Isa as the B-side to continue. The next matchup is between the songs Butterfly and Give It To Me. So Butterfly is a ballad song off of the YoungLove.com EP, which I mentioned is probably my favorite EP from STAYC. And Give It To Me is from their first studio album, Metamorphic. This one's a little bit difficult because it's a matchup between a ballad song and a more upbeat song. Give It To Me has a early 2000s type of R&B vibe to it, but I think Butterfly is one of their most beautiful ballad songs, and I really love listening to Butterfly, especially with the vocals and the lyrics. So for this matchup, I'm going to give it to Butterfly over the song Give It To Me. The next matchup is a relatively easy one. The songs are called Like This and 20. So Like This is the B-side off of their first single album, Star to a Young Culture, and it is the B-side to the song called So Bad. 20 is basically an intro song for the first album, Metamorphic. And when the album first came out, I thought 20 was the perfect intro song to this album. It signaled the change that STAYC was making in their concept and in their musical style as being more of a mature adult group. In Korea, they say when you turn 20 is when you reach adulthood. So this would be 20 years old in Korean age, which is 19 internationally. But when this album came out and this song came out, it felt like it was setting the mood that, hey, we're all adults now, and this is the music, this is the album that we're coming out with. But for me, Like This is another one of those songs which I think could be one of the best STAYC songs in general. I think it's really up there amongst all of their title tracks, and it's also one of the potential winners for this entire bracket. For me, this is actually an easy choice. It's going to be Like This. Our next head-to-head is between the songs Love and Love Fool. So a little bit similar titling here. Love is off of the We Need Love EP, and it's the B-side for the title track, Beautiful Monster. Love Fool is a B-side off of the Stadium EP, whose title track was ASAP, if you remember. And between these two songs, again, this is one of those matchups where I think both songs are pretty equal in terms of how much I like them musically, but Love off of the We Need Love EP has a lot of great memories attached to it for me because during the KCON tour in the USA in 2022, STAYC was essentially the headliner for that concert tour. And they attended 6 cities, 6 stops on that tour after KCON LA. And STAYC used Love as their final song. For me, at that point, I had gone to KCON in Chicago to see STAYC. I had gone to KCON LA to see STAYC. And I had attended 3 of the 6 stops during the KCON US tour. And after that tour, I was feeling a lot of PCD, what you call post-concert depression, because I had felt that, man, I really love STAYC so much. Why didn't I go to see them on this entire tour? Why did I only see them in San Francisco, Atlanta, New York? So that was actually the catalyst for me to go to every stop on their Teen Fresh US tour. And Love had a big part to do with that because their performance of Love during the KCON US tour was absolutely incredible. I thought it was just really cool that they would choose a B-side as one of the songs that they would perform. Remember, this is a KCON tour, so there's a bunch of other artists that are also performing on the same night. So their set list is a little bit limited, but for them to choose Love as one of their songs, I thought that was really impressive. So for this matchup, I'm going to choose Love over the song Love Fool. Our last matchup of the first round is between the songs Nada and I Like It. Nada is off of the first album, Metamorphic, and the song I Like It is off of the Beautiful Monster EP called We Need Love. I think this is an easy choice for me because while I do like Nada off of the album, I feel that I Like It is one of my favorite B-sides that STAYC has come out with. Once again, an easy choice. I Like It over Nada. Moving on to the second round. The first matchup is between Not Like You and Gummy Bear. Once again, another couple of B-sides where I thought they were actually better than the title tracks of their respective albums. Not Like You, again, the title track was Bubble, and Gummy Bear, the title track was Cheeky Icy Thing. For this matchup, I'm going to have to choose Not Like You because while I really love the song Gummy Bear, I think I like the lyrics for Not Like You more. So for this matchup, Not Like You over Gummy Bear. The next second round matchup is between the songs I Wanna Do and the unit song Find by Soo-hyun, Se-hyun, and Jae. I think this is a relatively easy decision for me because I do like both of these songs, of course, but I'm gonna choose I Wanna Do. First, it has all the members in it. It's not a unit song. But I also think I just like that song more than Find. So moving on is I Wanna Do. Our next matchup is honestly a potential finals matchup. If the seeding worked out in a different way, the finals matchup could have been this matchup between Complex and Same Same. I love both of these songs so much, and they're both down-tempo type of songs. But if you remember, I had mentioned I have a lot of emotional attachment to the song called Same Same. And while both of these songs had a big impact on me during the Teen Fresh World Tour, I think Same Same is going to get that edge just because of the emotional attachment I have to it being the encore song. Whereas Complex, oh man, it's such a great song, but I would really rate them very similarly musically. So I'm going to give it to Same Same. The next matchup is another really difficult matchup for me. It's between Young Love and Slow Down. Both one of their earlier B-sides. Again, Young Love is off of the YoungLove.com EP, and Slow Down is off of the Stereotype EP. Slow Down is quite possibly one of my favorite STAYC B-sides. If it's not top 1 or top 2, it's definitely top 3. Oh, maybe it's top 4. Oh, I really can't say. But Young Love is also in that consideration. This is a really difficult decision for me. I love the choreography of Slow Down and the lyrics too. But Young Love is such a great concert song. I remember when it first came out, one of my friends, he said it's like one of those songs where you're at a concert and you just get your lights out and raise your arms and just sway to the song. I know a lot of people felt that Young Love was their favorite song off of the YoungLove.com EP, which is interesting because it's a more down-tempo song. Both of these songs are a little bit more down-tempo. Man, I'm really having a difficult time choosing between both of these songs. I think what I'm going to do is really put it down to the matchup of the concert experience of Young Love and the choreography of Slow Down. And for me, I think the choreography of Slow Down puts it over Young Love. But I gotta say, this is one of those where any given day, I could choose one over the other. But for today, for this episode, I'm gonna choose Slow Down over Young Love. Could possibly be one of the hardest choices in this entire bracket, I'm not sure. Our next second round matchup is between One Thing and Troublemaker. Both of these songs are off of the first album, Metamorphic. And again, I think One Thing should have been the title track, so I'm going to put it over Troublemaker. Nice to have a little bit of an easier one. The next matchup is a little bit tougher. It's between Stay With Me and Roses, which is Aisa's solo song. Both of them are off of the Metamorphic album. And for this one, I'm going to choose Stay With Me, again, for all the same reasons that I had mentioned earlier. The fan song, the emotional attachment. And I love Aisa, but I love the Stay With Me song much, much more than Roses. Moving on, we have Butterfly versus the song Like This. Relatively easy choice for me. I do love Butterfly. It's a great ballad song. But again, Like This, I think, is possibly one of the best STAYC songs in the entire discography. So I'm going to go with Like This off of the first single album, Start to a Young Culture, over Butterfly, which was off of the YoungLove.com EP. And the final second round matchup is between Love and I Like It. And this is more difficult to choose between, but again, I mentioned all the emotional attachment I have for the song Love. And while I really like the song, I Like It, they're both off of the Beautiful Monster EP called We Need Love. I think Love just has a much greater emotional attachment for me. I also think it's a better song. So I'm going to go with Love over I Like It. So now we have our third round matchup, the quarterfinals, the Elite Eight, so to say. And the first matchup is between Not Like You and I Wanna Do. I think this is actually a relatively easy matchup for me. While I really like the lyrics to I Wanna Do, again, I think Not Like You is one of their better B-side songs. I thought it was better than the Bubble title track, which they're both off of the Teen Fresh EP. So I'm going to choose Not Like You over I Wanna Do. Our next quarterfinal matchup is between the songs Same Same and Slow Down. So this is actually an interesting matchup because Same Same and Slow Down, I believe that was actually the order of encore songs when they performed it during the Teen Fresh World Tour. So when they came out for the encore, the first song was Same Same, and the next song following was Slow Down. And both of those songs have just incredible memories for me. I really love the lyrics to Same Same. And again, I mentioned all the emotional attachment that I had with the concerts and them taking our phones. But Slow Down also has very similar, if not the same emotional attachments to the Same Same song. So I think while this is actually a really difficult decision, I think I'm leaning towards Slow Down because again, I just really like the choreography for this song. This is another one where it's a battle between concert experiences, lyrics, choreography. I think I'm going to have to choose Slow Down over Same Same. Not an easy decision, not at all. The third matchup for the quarterfinals is between One Thing and Stay With Me. Another very difficult matchup because again, I think One Thing is the best track off of the Metamorphic album, but Stay With Me again is the fan song and all the experiences that I had with that song. I feel that although One Thing is a great song to watch live and also it's a great song off of that album, I have a feeling that Stay With Me is going to be much more impactful on my life as a Swith in the future as well. So while I think One Thing has a slight edge over Stay With Me musically, it's also a really fun song to listen to. I got to see them perform it at KCON in LA last year. I think Stay With Me just has a lot more going for it outside of just the music. So I'm going to choose Stay With Me. And so that leads us into our last quarterfinal matchup between Like This and Love. This is another incredibly difficult decision for me. Like This is possibly my favorite STAYC B-side. But Love, I think, is also an amazing song. And again, I have all that emotional attachment to it. But I think I had really great experiences with Like This when they performed it during the Teen Fresh World Tour. So while I really loved my experience with Love, Like This is just too good of a song to let emotional attachments and concert experiences surpass it. So I'm going to have to go with the song Like This over Love. And that brings us to the final four, the semifinals of this bracket. The first matchup is between Not Like You and Slow Down. So I really love the song Not Like You. Again, it is off of the Teen Fresh EP. It was the B-side to Bubble. I actually like this song more than Bubble. But I think the Slow Down versus Same Same matchup was actually a more difficult matchup to choose between. I really like Slow Down more than Not Like You. It's not really a close decision. So I think Slow Down is going to move ahead to the finals over Not Like You. The next matchup is between the songs Stay With Me and Like This. And again, I do think Like This is one of their best B-side songs. And I mentioned earlier, Stay With Me. While I do think I will have a lot of incredible memories with the song, even more than what I already have, those future memories haven't happened yet. So for today, I'm going to choose Like This easily over Stay With Me. So that gives us our final between Slow Down off of the Stereotype EP and Like This off of the Start to a Young Culture single album. But before we get to the final, I want to choose the third and fourth place songs And that matchup is between Not Like You and Stay With Me. Again, I really love Not Like You musically. I think musically it's probably better than Stay With Me personally, in my opinion. But I think I'm going to have to choose Stay With Me for third place over Not Like You because of the fact of it being the fan song, as well as my experience during the dance workshop with STAYC. Stay With Me will be today's third place, and Not Like You will take fourth. So here we go. The last round, the final, the championship. Who's going to take the crown between Slow Down and Like This? This is actually incredibly difficult for me because I do think that these two songs are among the best STAYC songs in general. Forget B-sides. For their entire discography, I think these two songs are among the top. But for today, while I really love Like This, I think lyrically, Slow Down is a little bit better. Musically, I think they're pretty on par. But for the choreography, I think Slow Down also has a slight edge. So for today, I'm going to choose Slow Down as the best STAYC B-side. And there you have it. Number 1, Slow Down. Number 2, Like This. Number 3, Stay With Me. And number 4, Not Like You. If you decide to play today's bracket, let me know. You can reach out, send it over social media, send an email, or just post on the website. Let's move on to 10 years ago today. The first headline for our 10 years ago today segment is on April 9th of 2015. It was announced that Kim Soo-hyun would return to the big screen with the movie titled Real. I decided to throw this headline in here because if you haven't been following the Korean entertainment news, there's a huge issue right now with Kim Soo-hyun and a scandal involving the potential grooming of the late actress Kim Se-ron. We've briefly mentioned it on the show before. In one episode, I had mentioned that Kim Soo-hyun was one of my favorite actors. And in another episode, I had mentioned that there's a lot of, quote, evidence that's being thrown against him. But since then, it's been really put into question on what's, forgive the pun, real and what's not real as far as the allegations that are being thrown around. And while I do think there are some suspicious behaviors potentially between his involvement with Kim Se-ron as well as what went down on the film set of the movie Real, which we are mentioning for today's headline, I'm still firmly against really giving a personal opinion about this whole issue. Every day, what seems like, every day, every week, there's just a new story, there's new evidence, quote evidence, and I don't think it's really fair to make a judgment or pass judgment one way or another without really knowing all the facts. And truly, I really don't know, and I'm pretty sure most people don't know what's really happened, what's really going down, and people are so quick to throw judgment. Personally, for me, I wouldn't say that Kim Soo-hyun is one of my favorite actors anymore, but I would still hesitate to condemn him without going through the proper due process. So 10 years ago today, on April 9th of 2015, it would be announced that the actor, Kim Soo-hyun, would return to the big screen with the movie titled Real. On April 12th of 2015, the singer and artist J.Y. Park, or Park Jin-young, would release the song called Who's Your Mama and sweep all of the charts. J.Y. Park, or Park Jin-young, is the founder of JYP Entertainment, and that is probably what he's most known for. But aside from that, he's also been a legendary songwriter, hitmaker, and artist since the 90s. And when Who's Your Mama came out and swept the charts, it showed that through multiple decades, J.Y. Park, Park Jin-young, is able to create top hits as an artist himself. He famously has some lines in his song called Still Alive, where he states that through the era of cassettes, through the era of CDs, through the era of digital streaming, He's still an artist to be recognized with top hits through all those generations. And that's something that none of the other Big Four agency founders can say, that they are still an artist performing and making music to this day. And yeah, I think it's absolutely incredible. Who's Your Mama is his top song during the 2010s. In 2020, he had the song with Wonder Girls' Sunmi called When We Disco. In the 2000s, he had the songs I Have a Girlfriend, Swing Baby, The House You Live In. In the 1990s, he had the songs Elevator, Proposal Song, She Was Pretty, Honey. Yeah, Park Jin-young has had an incredible career. I'm a fan of his music. I love JYP Entertainment. And I think it's absolutely incredible. 10 years ago today, on April 12th of 2015, JY Park would release a song, Who's Your Mama, and sweep all of the Korean music charts. On the same day, Katie Kim would win K-Pop Star 4. We've talked about Katie a few times on this show so far, and I wanted to highlight this once again, because 10 years ago today was the day that she would win K-Pop Star 4 and sign onto YG Entertainment. Her career with YG Entertainment was pretty short-lived as far as releases go, but I think they're all still worth listening to, and definitely check it out. If you like those, I'd highly recommend you checking out the songs that Katie has come out with since becoming an independent artist. I really love her voice. She has that sultry R&B voice. She sings most of the time in English because she is from the USA. And yeah, if you like it, if you enjoy it, let me know. 10 years ago today, on April 12th, Katie Kim wins K-Pop Star 4. Our last headline is on April 13th of 2015, JYP Entertainment would introduce their first candidate, Im Na-yeon, for the upcoming survival show 16. So 16 was an Mnet survival program in 2015 that would lead to the debut of the JYP Entertainment girl group Twice. Twice is one of those groups where you could do multiple podcast episodes on just about their history, just about how they were formed, their careers, their potential still. Personally, I think Twice is the greatest K-pop girl group of all time. But I think that topic should be left for a dedicated episode. I just thought that it was cool that 10 years ago today, Im Na-yeon, the oldest member of Twice, would have her first formal introduction to the public. Again, on April 13th of 2015, JYP Entertainment introduces their first candidate, Im Na-yeon, for the upcoming survival show 16. Today, we threw all of STAYC's B-sides into an arena of ferocious combat, and we've crowned Slow Down as the victor. I've listened to STAYC's discography for countless of hours, and really, the champion could really differ on any given day or with different first-round matchups. Again, you can check out the bracket in the show description or on the Selective Hearing website. Let me know if you decide to play along. In this part of the world, the Northern Hemisphere, we're enjoying the beginning of spring, with flowers blooming and the cherry blossoms falling. It's a great time to start something new and fresh. If you haven't listened to STAYC or their B-sides before, maybe this episode is the moment that sparks a new love for you. If you're already a fan of STAYC, or even a SWIP, their New World Tour Stay Tuned now has tickets on sale for their stops in Asia. I hope that whenever you listen to this, and wherever you're listening from, that you're having a great day, and I want you to know that I truly appreciate you. That's all for today, April 11th, 2025. This has been Diaries of an MZ Generation, hosted by Ellis Tan. This is a production of Selective Hearing and is a part of the Selective Hearing network of podcasts, edited by Ellis Tan and Greg Abesamis. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you on the next one.